The Dragon Ball Project multi-beta is finally over, and now I am dead inside. That beta did not feel like it was a 2-week beta at all. With how much we were able to play it, how much gameplay we have, it flew by like nothing. Every single match was fun, every character was unique, such a great learning experience. And obviously, some characters were just way stronger than others. But I have a lot of things to talk about, both positives and some negatives as well. But overall, great feedback that the devs are actively looking for, so we can help improve the game to the best possible state for its 2025 release. I'm hoping it's an early 2025 release because, man, a summer release of next year would kill me right now. I need this game back. We're going to talk a lot about this game in this video, so I'm going to need you guys to comment below some of your thoughts as well. I also have like 30 gameplay matches on backlog that I'll be uploading out of order because, well, I just haven't been uploading because I've been playing the game too much. We have matches with every single character, so comment below which character match would you like to see next. So on the final day of the beta, they actually gave us 3 million gems to unlock everything in the game and to fully stress test the capsules. Their words. You could actually unlock all characters with gems and bypass the shop level 2 thing, which is a free-to-play element they have within the game. I decided to try to unlock all the skins and icons for all my characters that I have, and let me tell you, this gacha system is just as bad as you would imagine. It took me 33 minutes and almost 70,000 gems to get the Trunks Free the Future outfit. That is way too long and also way too expensive, given the fact that I already had everything already unlocked prior to that. The amount of duplicates were crazy unnecessary. On launch, this game needs to have skins available for purchase within its shop, and not only that, it needs acceptable drop rates if they want to continue with gacha. That was by far the most ridiculous grind, man. 33 minutes and 70,000 gems is unheard of. But I finally got the sick outfit for Trunks, which in hindsight is really just him not wearing the jacket, but never mind that. This is the drip where after the Cell Saga, he went back home and violated the androids in his timeline. That is my goat. Gacha rolls are just so overdone. Everybody within the gaming industry is so over it at this point. I personally think you'll keep a player base happier and around longer if you just make it possible for people to get whatever they want, and you'll make more money on it when people are happy. Just have really fair prices for these things, man. Do not make skins cost $20, seriously. If you agree that the gacha system sucks, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to help raise that 38% even higher, and so you don't miss out on any other Dragon Ball content we have. We got a lot coming your way, and there's a lot more we gotta talk about in this video. Whether you prefer controller or keyboard and mouse, both options felt really polished and worked extremely well. I started off with keyboard and mouse, but then I switched to controls, and honestly, between the both of them, I found great success with it. They're very customizable to function however you want. There were some bugs I did see teammates and even other streamers come across. Shout out to Eisen DBL. He's the #1 ranked North America player for this game. But I saw he came across this bug where even if you didn't have your controller plugged in, you are locked into using controller and then every button is mapped to B. And you're stuck like that for the entire match. Even if your controller wasn't plugged in, that's crazy. I hope they can rework the way that the Q system works too, because it functions right now that if you click with your mouse to queue up, you are locked into that match with your mouse and keyboard, and vice versa for controllers. I can't tell you guys how many times I would do this by accident because navigating menus for me, I'm playing on Steam, it's easier to do with my mouse, but I prefer to play on controller. And if that's possible to change, where you could swap either or on the fly middle of the game, please let us. I do have to give them props for how unique the characters are. Goku's Kaioken trigger is one of the most satisfying elements to his kit, and I honestly slept on Goku initially, seeing as how he is the base easiest character to pick up and play. There are some deeper elements to his kit that I don't see a lot of people using properly. But basically with Goku's abilities, anytime that you use them, you could actually trigger his Kaioken quickly right after to boost the attack's damage and range further. Even if Kaioken is already on cooldown, this still works continuously. On his Hammer Fist ability, you can get more damage and further range of where that attack hits, and is a neat reference to his push attack against Jason Birder on Namek. But with Kamehameha, it becomes a longer charge ×4 Kamehameha, and also slows the enemy's movement speed down and overall debuffs them. Really amazing in team fights because of the sheer range that it has. His Spirit Bomb, however, I didn't see any way to boost that with Kaioken, but its range is really solid. If I do add one thing to this game, I would like for there to be a practice mode where we could actually go in there with the character, try out all their different kits. Every MOBA has it, so I don't doubt that this game will have that. They obviously just wanted to have the queue system up and just stress test the servers and give people opportunities to play and learn through bot matches. But seriously, practice mode will go hard and help out a lot of people. And then you have Android 18, who after every single ability used, her next basic attack has more range, more damage, and can decimate enemies from beginning to end. She's my absolute strongest damage character by far in this game, because from the beginning all the way to late game, she's consistently strong. There's a lot of characters like Trunks who are insanely strong, but not so much until after level 8 or 9 in regards to his damage. His early game damage is good, but his range and overall damage gets expanded even further to Android 18 levels once he gets past level 8 or 9. Android 18's L2 dash has multiple charges so that you can dash and then attack, dash and then attack. Repeat this over and over again in early game to clear camps and get levels faster and secure kills and steal kills as well. You are never under-leveled or behind on levels if you are playing Android 18 properly, which is why I think she's one of the best characters in the game, especially if you understand how to utilize her kit. You will never have a hard time playing as her. I am going to make a dedicated video for each character and a tier list after we pump out some gameplay matches, but of course everybody knows tanks are super overpowered. Every single one of them are really good, and I do have some ideas on how to rework them. I know the damage output is incredibly high for a tank, and that's very rare because most games tanks don't typically deal a whole lot of damage, especially if they already have high defense and self-healing regeneration capabilities. It's interesting that tanks do have a lot of damage. I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because it's Dragon Ball, people are going to be wanting using Vegeta and also dealing a lot of damage with him, so I'm glad that you can do that. However, if there is something that I think that they could do to balance them, is they would need to delay the self-healing out of combat factor, or give every single role, damage and text as well, the ability to self-heal out of combat just like the tanks do, but at a slower rate. Because if tanks can already do all of that and deal insane damage and have crazy defense, it's just not fair to the rest of the cast to have to go back to the towers in order to heal. Seriously, when I started off playing this game, I started off with Vegeta, and it absolutely skewed my perception of the way the gameplay is and how the towers would heal you. Because his self-heal was so good, I never had to go back to the towers to go and heal. And then eventually, when I stopped playing Vegeta and I tried out a different role, I kept dying because I didn't realize they didn't self-heal. I think this is a great compromise to help out all the other characters in a way. And it would also buff the tech characters, seemingly Majin Buu, whose healing factor is okay. It's not amazing, but not every single match is going to have a Majin Buu. Every match has one tank and one technical character and 2 DPSs. So oftentimes there's a lot of people running Krillin because Krillin's really good, and there's no healer because not a lot of people want to use Majin Buu. Up next, the matchmaking needs to stop with the bots, man. If you're going to put people in matches at least with bots as teammates, make it so that the enemy team has an equal amount of bots and players that you do, because going against 2 real player versus you and your bot teammates is definitely not fun. Thank you, Cooler. Really good job at running away there. Vegeta's literally 1 pixel. Sure, if you want E ranks to have more bots and give newcomers an easier time, go for it, but it's not that hard to get out of those ranks. I got as high as B rank with tanks and C rank with DPS, and still got full bot lobbies a lot of times. But I do want to ask you guys in the comments below, have you guys queued up and only queued up with bots on your team and had to go against a full entire team of real players? That shit is not fun at all. I would rather the matchmaking take even longer to just find a similar team setup for me to go against. It would at least make the match more enjoyable and straightforward. But please, at the very least, improve the AI bot teammates to at least follow our lead with attacks and priority, because them mindlessly walking around and away from enemies while I'm over here fighting for my life is infuriating. The Dragon Ball final base is just way too easy to take over and pick up. It makes defending it borderline impossible most times. I think it should be switched to be a hold button input for enemies to pick it up, and when you hit the enemies, it interrupts it so that they have to endure one last final fight, wipe you guys out in order to pick it up successfully. I don't think it should be a 5-second press or anything extreme like that, because the home base is very close nearby and people could just walk away from the fight to the spawn, which is just a few feet away, and fully heal instantly, which would be unfair. Maybe a 2 to 3 second button hold is ideal, plus it would make certain divine cards very important to equip for endgame to bypass damage. Just an idea, either that or make the defense of the base stronger, or have an extra element to have to defeat, because as of right now, breaking that glass and stealing the Dragon Ball, it's probably the easiest final base in all of MOBAs of all time to beat. I do see a lot of people discouraged about the Great Ape being too good. However, I'll be honest with you guys, I've won a few matches myself where we actually lost the Great Ape, but still won the match. In order to do that, you do need your full team to coordinate defenses and play properly with callouts. I'm gonna upload a bunch of those gameplay matches in a few days after I render them out, but I think currently it is in a decent spot where it's at. It's not like Rayquaza or Zapdos in Unite, where it's an instant loss if it happens, even if you're winning the entire match. You can still defend against it, and I do like that. Maybe they can reduce the amount of shields that it gives the enemies, but of course, there are Divine Combo cards which can help deal with that. Divine Combo cards are the items for this game, and they greatly change the way your characters can function and how the game flow can be for certain matches. This is a staple in many MOBA games and exists to give people a chance to counter characters. Unfortunately, again, this is only available for your character if you are in D rank or higher with that particular role, which I do hope they change. I think every role should be able to use this starting from E rank, and I get they probably do this on purpose so this way newcomers aren't overwhelmed, but still, it's a very good system. I think people need to learn how to use this from the jump. I mostly ran one combo the entire beta, and it's hella broken in early game and late game, and it even has secured crazy comebacks in team fights for me. The first tier I would always use is Flash of Lightning, the red card. It makes it so that when you vanish step, your next attack on an enemy within 2 seconds deals energy damage to them. Whether it's a rush attack, ability, etc., it's usually about 20% bonus damage and really helps a lot. Very good from the beginning to the late game, and it's helped me delete a lot of last pixels against tanks. The second one I go for is usually the Steel Skin Green Defense to reduce incoming damage. Good on every single character, to be honest. Everyone can benefit from this. It's a passive thing that you don't have to actively go for, and it just helps. But if you're having issues with like a Zamasu tank not dying, you could actually go with Giant Slayer, the red card instead, which will make it easier to kill tanks in general. But my third and final card I almost always go with is Limit Breaking Jump. This allows you to vanish step twice and makes the Flash of Lightning card proc twice, providing stupid damage and surprising many enemies on how fast they get deleted. It does make it so that you can't use a move after 1 second using it, but that's okay because you actually get a combination bonus from this. If you do have a red, green, and blue card equipped, you get the cooldown reduction bonuses on top of a damage and defense increase. It's still solid. Limit Breaking Jump adds plus 5 seconds to all of your abilities after they go on a cooldown, but again, this combo is reduced anyways, and by endgame, your cooldowns are pretty much non-existent. But I tested this, ran it mindlessly on every single character, every single role, and it worked extremely well. Not so much on Majin Buu. I feel like that character, you really want to focus on being slippery, more tankier, and defensive to stay alive and heal your teammates. But in general, this build is a cookie cutter way to just blow through enemies and mindlessly tack on damage. At first, I was worried about there being no jungler in this game, but in a 4v4 setting, anyone can jungle really. And until the first tower is broken, the middle lane is actually blocked off, so you can't gank people until that happens. A big thing within MOBAs is getting out-leveled and having a hard time to catch back up to your enemies to compete, which is where the jungle would come into play, where you can go to farm XP on mobs. But call me crazy, I think this game has a pretty great system already in place, where it is right now. Killing enemies doesn't give you insane XP, so it makes keeping up with opponents easier if you know what to do. There are many times where teams will farm my AI teammates to get a good 1 or 2 levels above me after stealing camps, but that's because I can't compete 1v2 on the Fuwa camp and they steal all the XP. However, you could just go back to your base path and farm the extra mobs that eventually spawn in, like the Skull Android bot, Barbarians, others, the mini angels that spawn in. They give so much XP, it makes it very easy to catch back up and get back into fights. I genuinely like this system a lot with how it is right now. No match at all is badly out of reach unless your team isn't taking advantage of the mobs. And granted, most of the AI teammates are not, but still, there were only 2 real matches where I genuinely had to surrender because we just could not keep up and the opponents were very on point. Project Multi's devs on Twitter have said constantly that they're aiming to take our feedback greatly and make changes to further improve the game in the best possible way, so when it launches in 2025, we have a Fire Dragon Ball MOBA game. They are incredibly close to a borderline perfect title. I think majority of the community already agrees on the much needed changes and what they are, and the devs do have an idea of what we want. They also have a survey coming soon that I'll be linking to all of you guys ASAP so we can fine-tune this product. I seriously enjoyed my time with this game. I'm looking forward to playing it again with you all soon, and hopefully we get an idea of what other characters are going to be coming in. I would really love if Broly gets announced in here, and he's one of those, like, he's a crazy tank character that can actually pick up and throw people. Dude, that would be awesome. That would be hilariously fun. Throwing people backwards into the tower. Please make it happen. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More Dragon Ball Project Multi videos are on the way and you don't want to miss them. My name is Blitz and thanks for watching.